I think it's a problem.
No, it looks good, Deepak. It looks really nice. Very quickly,
greenhouse.
Kashish, I wanted to take a quick permission from you. I think the way we've planned the session is there's going to be 30 minutes of the session. Then
Yes.
after that, there's going to be a 30-minute table topics. And then within the evaluation, later, somewhere in between, there's a 10-minute evaluation for it.
Right, right.
So Kashish, what I was hoping for now is if we can merge all of it into one. Usually क्या होता है ना, we give a table topic and get an evaluation much later, people forget.
Perfect, perfect. You can do that. You can do that.
Yeah, perfect. And there's a table topic master also with us today. I think Shushmita, that's you, right?
It's Toastmaster Harish.
Harish?
Harish, Toastmaster Harish.
Yeah, hi Harish. I can't see you yet. I just want to get a sense of where you are as well.
Yeah. Are you able to see me now?
Yes, hi Harish.
Hi, Kanish.
Hi. I think the way we'll do it now is we'll start our workshop right away. And then what we'll do is in between, we'll tackle some actual table topics. So I'll give you one point. Then we'll see if that point works for everyone by actually trying it live on a table topics. And we'll choose exactly the topic that Harish gives us so that it's perfectly random. It should simulate an actual contest or an actual table topic session. So that's what we'll do. And then briefly, we'll go over the evaluation of that particular attempt as well. So we'll do 5-ish table topics and we'll go into them in detail. So we'll do a little fewer, but we'll go into them in detail. So if you're really interested in attempting one, because of the limited slots, just feel free to raise your hands and we'll make sure you get a slot. Okay, so the formalities out of the way. Good morning. And let me ask you with a more simple question. So I have a deck and everything prepared. But what I want to understand is, well, you've all come to this session with some motivation. What is that motivation? Like, why do you want to get better at, why are you attending this session? What are you hoping to get out of it? Anyone?
Yes, I am attending so that I can get some ideas. At the same time, I can improve my communication skills as well as leadership skills. At the same time, learn from others' experiences too. Thank you.
Okay, Seema. Okay. Okay, that's a very fair reason to attend. What other reasons do we have?
Yes. May I speak?
Yeah, please, of course.
The reason for attending your session is to learn something new that we don't know as yet. Your learning may match us, but you might have some different points also. For that, we are attending it.
Great, great, great. Thank you. That makes sense as well. What other points? There's usually some answers I expect. Yeah, of course, Aisha, you can go.
Yes, Trilochan.
Trilochan, Aisha, either one of you.
Yes, I believe here you'll give some instruction about how to synthesize our table topic, how you to hit the bullseye so that it will give the message what exactly you want to give to the people or audience.
Absolutely. Okay. No, don't worry, Trilochan. We'll make you a pro at the end of this. No tension. What else? Aisha, you want to go next?
Yes. So I am attending this session to influence the crowd in a positive way and also learn something from all you people out here.
Okay.
May I?
Yeah, of course, Hema.
Sir, why am I joining this thing for collaborate to others and manage all those things, how to manage people and how to talk to them positively?
Yeah.
May I?
Yeah. Just a second. Hema, your voice is breaking up. I think that's why we're not able to hear you.
Right now?
Yeah. Now it's better.
So why I'm joining this for collaborate to all those people, how to collaborate, how to manage, and second thing, I which people inspired me, how to inspire that people, and how to come with all those things in my life. So thank you so much. I wanna why I joined this course. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Great. There was one more person who wanted to speak. So managing in
May I?
collaboration.
Kanish,
May I?
Yeah, we'll go one by one. No worries. Let's start with, let's say, Tanay. Then we'll go with Parul, and then we'll go with Harish.
Yeah, basically, you know how you can be more fluent, probably on the fly, how you can structure a speech.
Yeah.
That would be good to know.
Fluency. Yeah. Parul, you want to go next?
May
I?
Yeah. So table topics are something we say that no matter how much you prepare, you still feel unprepared when you're actually delivering it. So like from the session, what my expectation would be, how I can actually structure my thoughts better. At the same time, be prepared about instantaneous situations as much as I can. Like the way to organize my thought rather.
Yeah. Very fair. You want to be prepared for the unpreparable. Yeah. What else? There's some other hands.
May I, Kanish?
Yeah.
Harish, yeah, Kanishk. Basically, it's something like Parul said, aligning your thoughts with your words.
Aligning your thoughts with your words. That's a very interesting one. So basically, there's a thought in your head, and you want the right words to come out to match those thoughts.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a very interesting one.
Hey, Kanish, yeah. Actually, I think your question was why we want to improve, why we want in a better version of ourselves. I think question is that. So I feel each and everyone wants to become a successful, whether our desire is money, fame, or power. So we want to work on that, and we want to improve just because of improving and learning with this.
No, absolutely. And Deepak, you're spot on. Like everyone wants to improve themselves. But at any given point, there are 10 things about oneself one can improve, right? You could probably be a little nicer. One can probably be a little kinder. One can be a little more fluent. Why this specifically? Because obviously you guys everyone has limited time. Why is impromptu speaking important? Just I want to set the motivation very clear, because the answers here are going to help you understand what you'll get out of this session. Fluency, matching your thoughts with your words, what Hema said about collaboration, managing, all very valid points. Monica, I think you had unmuted yourself for a bit. Sushant is also, yeah.
Kanishk, before you proceed ahead, I want to request everyone, whoever is speaking, just mute yourself after speaking.
Yeah, Sushant, you want to go next? Sushant, you're on mute.
Yeah, any situation at any time we can handle. So in impromptu, we can see any situation in our life, if it comes, how to handle this. Actually, it is a great learning. If you see in this way, we can learn that any situation comes in our life, whether it is good or bad, we need to understand it. Instantly, we need to take action so that we are not going to repent in future. So I correlate with my life actually. So whenever there is any circumstances, events comes, and instantly I need to understand and go forward. That's it.
Yeah. There is a philosophical sort of bend to that approach, and I really appreciate that. That's true. So it's about preparedness. It's sort of similar to what Parul was also saying, preparing for that which you can't even conceive. Very fair, very fair. Let me tell you what I have, okay? Can you just give me screen sharing access, Kashish, if possible?
Done.
Yeah. So I have a very, very simple deck for you guys. So, and I've kept it intentionally very, very simple. So this is me, by the way. I think I won't spend too much time on my introduction because we have a little time. But we'll get straight to, what Trilochan mentioned. On one formula that helps us basically reach the bullseye on everything. And while I have an answer to this question, it's not an answer that I think anyone will like, because really the answers that come down to, let's say, and this applies to everyone, all of us. Like if we want to be better prepared for impromptu speaking, it really comes down to the obvious things. You know, we can become more interesting, which is the thoughts we have in our mind. We can become more confident, and we can do more of it. Okay. So, and what I want to speak to this directly is, it's a slide that has intentionally, it's so obvious when, like, the reason I started off with an obvious slide, because impromptu speaking in the sense with most skills is that it is simple and difficult, in the sense that some things are simple and complex, you know, and some things are easy and difficult. They are two very different dimensions, you know. For example, I think weight loss, for example, is simple and difficult. Like everyone, it's simple to do, eat less, move more. Very simple fundamentals, but difficult to master. Impromptu speaking, a little bit like that. The founding principles are actually very simple, because you can control only 2 or 3 things. The thing is that you're going to go on stage, you're going to get a cue, and you have to talk for 2 minutes. It's an absurdly simple problem. You know, it's not rocket science. There's not a lot of variables, and there's only 2-3 things you have to follow. What are those 2-3 things? You have a thought, and that thought you have to translate into words, and that you have to speak it out. So there's three parts: thinking of the thought, which is synthesizing something; thoughts to words, which is actually translation; and words actually saying it loud, which is delivery. And to folks who've been at Toastmasters for a while, you'll know this part is content, this part is delivery, and this part is actually connecting the two. And all of us know how to write good content, to varying degrees. We have some idea of how to write good content, write good delivery, but to master it is difficult. Okay. But throughout the entire session, we're going to focus on these 2-3 things. You know. So let's start with the first one, which is, well, conceiving of the right thoughts. Okay. And before we start, in fact, let's start first, and then I will just tell you, then maybe we can take an example, and one person can actually come up on the stage and try it. Okay. Becoming more interesting, which is like the synthesizing part of the entire problem. And like in a lot of these sessions, right, one approach that people give, and I just want to highlight that before we just begin. In a lot of table topic sessions, usually someone will come in and they'll give you very clear frameworks. There's an Oreo approach, there's the IDA approach, which is basically, Oreo basically says you give an opinion, you give a reason, then you give an example, and then you reiterate the opinion. Okay. In this session, you won't see that, because I think that prepares you for problems in a very narrow way. You know, that way, you know, Trilochan doesn't give a speech that Trilochan would want to give. Trilochan gives a speech that is catered to that little framework. Frameworks are supposed to be our slaves. We're not supposed to be slaves to our frameworks. So we won't get a lot into tools like approaches and frameworks and structures. We'll go into founding principles, and then we'll experiment a little bit and see what works. So what I want to leave you with at the end of this session is I want to give you tools on the basis of which you can think about and improve by yourself. You know, and starting with the first one, which is becoming more interesting. And I just want to start with like a very, very base philosophy here. The philosophical foundation for this basic, in a sense, is key. Anything that you hear about can be in a way interpreted. Okay. There are many interpretations of the same thing. And it's actually different interpretations that are actually less or more interesting. Let's take a quick example here. What is one thing that we are very sure of? Yeah, can you find one thing?
Change.
Seema.
Change. Yeah, change.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go one by one. So Seema, let's say change. Okay. And Veena said death. Okay.
Yes.
I actually want to answer sort of both of your. So if these are the objective truths, so as we put it, Seema, there doesn't seem to be a lot of change after death, does it?
There's change throughout, even after death also, if you go by scriptures.
Yeah, but
that is only constant and eternal.
Yeah, but not all of us believe in scriptures also, right, Seema?
Right.
But it's all transformation. Yes, of course, whatever you say is absolutely right. I'll go there. I'm quite flexible. For me, everything is fine. Right? Yeah.
And death, for instance, well, how are we sure we're going to die? Like, we know 100% of humans have died before. There's a chance we might find a way to be immortal, maybe in our lifetimes. In fact, scientists are working on it right now as we speak. Life expectancy is increasing by 5 years every 20 years. So there's a chance in this room right here, there might be the first immortal person. What I'm trying to suggest here is, and while I actually don't agree with what I just said, I agree very much with what Seema said, that change always exists. And I also agree very much with Veena in the sense that there is always going to be, we're almost certainly going to die. But questioning this, gives a very new and an interesting perspective on the same topic. For instance, if you're given a table topic and let's say it's something like this, change is constant, like if 5 people are going to say, well, yes, things changed. I was in school. I'll tell you what most people will do. I was in school. Then there was a certain set of things I had. Then I went to college. Then things totally changed. Then I got married. Then things totally changed. Then I had a kid. Then things totally changed. Because that is true. That is sort of universal to all of us. But questioning it, questioning what that is just, it brings in a new perspective. And since we're talking about purely being more interesting here, saying something new, it's a good idea to question every little objective truth we get. We can continue trying more examples. So what I'm trying in a sense to tell you is that in a table topic session or in an impromptu session, you're going to get some cue. You're going to get a cue like, you're going to die one day, for example. And you can always say, yes, I'm going to die. I have biology and cells die, etc., etc. Or you can say something like this. You can say, well, I don't know if I'm going to die. So the first point here is that if you get a topic, okay, your job is not to agree with the topic. Your job is not to disagree with the topic. Your job is only to say something new, unique, creative, be fresh, And that way, and just for the sake of it, you can just challenge yourself into what that new thing is. Okay, and so that we really drill this in, let's actually take an example. Okay, so Harish.
Yes, Kanish.
Harish, do you have a topic ready for us?
Yes, I do have topic ready.
Okay, and
so,
I'll just get one volunteer first. Like anyone who wants to get their feedback.
May I?
Seema?
Seema.
Okay.
Okay, so Seema, topic for you is keep yourself first. Is it a positive or a negative statement?
All right. So my time starts now? Yeah?
Yes.
Thank you, everybody. It's my privilege and honor to speak on this wonderful topic. It's all about putting yourself first. As we all know, we live in cutthroat competition where we have to be at one place. On the contrary, if you do not take the opportunity or you miss it, then maybe after some time you will regret. Therefore, do not wait for another opportunity. Rather start preparing right now, because today is the time. It is right now. Prepare it, because someone has stated, if you get anything in life, that is success, which we all are running towards. It is equal to hard work plus 1% luck, which means if you are prepared and any opportunity knocks your door, then you can grab it and you can be the first one to grab it, to prosper, to thrive, to flourish. So do not wait, be prepared, keep on doing your best, and whenever opportunity comes, just go and embrace it and enjoy. Thank you. Over to you.
Thanks a lot, Seema. That was really a very, 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 very good attempt. Some great things first right off the bat, and other people can also chime in about what they think. Like Seema, you're obviously very, very confident. Your delivery comes across as very organic. I really like the fact that you smile a lot.
Thank you.
For the entire time, you're very inspiring. You leave folks with a very positive message. So that comes across super well.
Thank you.
About the topic, let's think a little bit about the topic, Seema. What was the topic? Can you remind me once?
That topic was related to opportunity. Actually, the first time when he stated that was there, on the second moment, it skipped my mind. Only opportunity was something which clicked in my mind. So I continued with that.
I got it.
All right.
Who are really good at delivery, usually they take the first impulse and they execute it really well. But let's think about this. Okay, so the topic, from what I remember, is ki put yourself first.
Okay.
Mota, do you agree with it or do you not?
Right.
What do you think, Seema? Should you put yourself first?
Yes, of course. I believe one should never regret. It's all about doing your best. If you know something and any opportunity knocks at your door, go and give yourself to it. Because it's not all about getting the rewards. It's all about doing your best. It's all about journey. You should not have regrets that I have never tried this or that. Try, give it your best. Learn the most and keep enjoying, because learning is a lifelong process. It's not, it doesn't end with getting success at one place. It's a continuous feast. This is what I feel.
So I think when you approach it with that, right? So when I hear the topic, put yourself first. Okay. So what you're mentioning is about opportunities. Yeah, whatever chance you get, you should take it.
Right.
Which I agree with. Which I'm sure Harish also agrees with. But if you think of put yourselves first, the opposite of that sentence is put others first.
Right.
So what I understand of the topic is, if you have a choice to make, so if you get an opportunity and it's purely with you, then you should take it. So Seema, your table topic approach is perfect.
Okay.
You know? But let's say there is one cake in the fridge, right? There is you and there is your child. You'll always put the child first. So let's say your best friend, right? Who should eat that cake? Should you? Should
whosoever sees the first.
Now that's an approach. You know, so that's basically, put yourself first. Like, the world is full of opportunities, and the person who finds the opportunity first and executes it better wins, or should get it, right?
Yes.
So in a way, what you're saying, so what I think Harish is imploring us to explore is, if you have to make a choice between two, then which one would you choose? What it translates to me, this topic, I'll tell you what it translates to me. Exactly, like if you take off everything and put the honesty wala filter, how selfish should you be? You know?
Yes.
Like, should you always keep yourself first? And there's a lot of approaches. You know, some people think, and there you have 2-3 approaches you can put. You can put, you should be selfish. You should always put yourself first, because other people are putting themselves first. I should put myself first. Or you can go straight to the other extreme. You can say, no, we live in a society. We live in a place where we're dependent on each other. Literally, a Toastmasters meeting happens when 25 people are coordinating with each other. If one of them is selfish, the thing doesn't work. Don't you like these meetings? This works only when you put others first, etc., etc.
Right.
But what I'm trying to suggest is that if you take one of these extreme stands, right, the points might automatically flow. So you have 2-3 approaches now. What a lot of people do is they will split it into 2. They will take one opinion, explore it. They will take the other opinion and they'll explore it, and they'll say, both sides make sense. But the thing we wanted to understand here is we wanted to translate the topic into something that is a yes or a no. Does that make sense? I think that's what, if you would have you want to try it again with the same topic again, Seema?
So you want me to speak on from the perspective of giving everyone chance?
So let's say it's a put yourself first. So Seema, you have 2 options. You can put yourself first in everything you do, or you can think of everything, I will make sure the society is taken care of.
Okay.
If you can just take 30 seconds and briefly say what your opinion is on it.
Sure. So again, thank you for this wonderful and quite on the spot opportunity. It's all about putting others first. What I feel is, since we all are human beings, we all are meant for each other, and entire concept of universe is to be interconnected. We all are interconnected, therefore it's our responsibility to take care of oneself and others, because together we make this world a better place for everybody. Therefore it's not good to put yourself for selfish needs. Someone has stated that nature has immense for the people, for their need, but for their greed, even nature's abundance is also not enough. Therefore it's important to see others first, because as our all parts of our body are interconnected, so we have to take care of each and every of them. That is why it is important to look for others. There's no harm thinking of yourself, but at the same time think for others, because as I stated before, together everyone makes this world a better place, and that will bring the harmony and tranquility. And this is what the law of universe, that is how we all are built of. And if we make it, then we will enjoy this blissful life, and this will not become a place of misery. Thank you. Over to you.
Great. Thanks, Seema. So I think with this, right, you've very, very clearly taken a stand. So there's two options. You took one stand and you executed it really well. Perfect. This is a very good approach. Now let's go a level deeper. Okay. So right now we got a topic. We split it into a binary question and we answered that question. Okay. Now let's question that as well, because remember the philosophical foundation is that there are no objective truths, which means splitting us into this binary is also not fair. So now the question we should think about is, well, is putting yourself first, does it always make you selfish? How can you put yourself first in a way that isn't selfish and also makes sense? So
yeah, do you want me to answer on that? This is where I will reiterate with our theme, that is to love yourself. If you love yourself, then you can only love others. Like if you love yourself, and if you hate yourself, then you are going to hate others also. Therefore, it is very important.
Got it.
Right? I hope I answered your question.
Yeah. So one thing we do, we get a topic, we split it into two, and we take a stand, one way or another. The other approach is you question the stand that the topic is asking for. And this leads us to the theme of self-love. You have to put yourself first, because an empty sack cannot stand by itself. Like you have to have some stuff within you before it can stand upright. And that is only possible if you put yourself first. But what I'm suggesting is that through one topic ka cube, you get many different branching outs. You get many different branches that you can attempt. The point is that before a contest, a good thing is to practice is to by yourself explore those routes. So see a topic, and let's try it with the next topic, okay? So in the next topic, what we'll do is, we'll try two things. First of all, a volunteer, and I'll tell you sort of the exercise that we're going to try. Anyone? Veena, you want to go?
Yes, please.
Yes. So Veena, we will try two things. We'll try, number one, we'll try whatever the topic is, we are going to think first before you even attempt the topic. We'll try 3 different approaches. You can, so whatever topic we get, you and I will just have a short conversation. We'll just talk about what are the different things we can do with this topic.
Okay.
So that's all. And then you, at the end, once you like an approach, we'll execute that approach.
Okay.
So Harish, if you're ready with one topic.
Yeah, Kanishk, the other topic, the next one is, what is more important? Love yourself or to be loved by others? Were you able to hear?
Yeah, we were able to hear. I'm just waiting for Veena to write it down so that we can discuss it once. Veena, are you able to hear us?
Yes, please.
So Veena, let's just, so Abhi, before you start the topic, we'll just think about it for a bit. Like usually we don't get this luxury, but at least in the workshop, we can try it out.
Okay.
So like aapka impulse, what is it saying? Like what do you want to say? Like first thought, do you think loving yourself or loved by others? What is more important?
to be loved by others is more important according to me.
Yeah.
But first, to be loved by others is more important because here we will have to make ourselves deserve that love. We'll have to be deserving person. If we are having good things in us, only then people will love us. If we love them, only then they'll love us. First of all, we'll have to love them. We will have to like them so that they also have a good impression of us. If we have a good impression in their minds, automatically they will be attracted to us and they will love us.
Great, great. Veena,
To create their liking or love, we'll have to become a good person or admirable person so that they are attracted to us.
Correct.
We should be honest, we should be social, we should be loving, we should be...
Got it. Veena, so we'll just explore this a little bit. I got your point. So first of all, very, very important, interesting things. By the way, you're a mother, right, Veena?
Yes, I am a mother as well as a grandmother also.
Yeah. So mothers, grandmothers have this impulse of, they give more love than they receive. I often wonder. But so I understand that, and that's a very interesting choice. I think a lot of people now, I would have personally chosen, let's say, love yourself. And usually, kids, younger folks, they choose love yourself approach. Okay. So Veena, what we want to do now? I got it. I think if you had to choose get loved by others, I'm sure you could do a great job.
I can speak on the other side also. Yes. Love yourself.
Yes, let's try
speak on it.
Yes, let's try that.
Until and unless you yourselves, people will not love you at all. We should think that yes, we are good. We deserve the love. We deserve the appreciation. We have got the good points in us. So the people should admire us. Even if they don't admire us, they shouldn't condemn as well. They don't have any right to speak against us. Clear? So we until unless we ourselves say yes, we are good, we deserve love, we deserve appreciation, nobody will love us. If we ourselves love ourselves, people will love us. If we ourselves condemn ourselves in front of others, they will get a point to condemn us or criticize us.
Right.
So we'll have to show the self-confidence. Maybe it's right or wrong. Yes, we are right. We are not wrong.
Right. Perfect, Veena. Perfect. So very, very great. I think you can execute this one also. You can, if we asked you to speak on love others, you could speak it. If we asked you to speak on love yourself, you could speak it. So you have already two approaches. Now, again, what is our foundation? Our foundation is everything, there's no objective truths. So let's question this.
Yes.
So my question now, Veena, that I want you to think about is, well, is there really a balance between the two? So the way Harish had very cleverly posited the question, he made it look like which is better. You tell me which is better. But if Harish can ask us questions, we can also ask Harish questions. The question being, are they even in conflict with each other? Is love like a sack of rice? There is a finite resource, and if you love yourself, then you can't love others, and if you love others, then you have no time left for yourself, right?
May I intervene? Yes.
Yeah. So
carry on first.
Yeah. So Veena, what I want you to try now, for 30 seconds only.
Okay.
So, first of all, do you agree with me that there's not really a choice between the two?
Yes.
You can do both, right?
Yes.
So let's say you had to tackle it from that angle.
Okay.
There's no choice only, Harish. I will do both. It's not none of your business. I can do both. So try that approach where you're saying I'll do both, something like that.
Sometimes it so happens that we love a person, but that person doesn't even like us at all. He or she can't bear us, but in spite of that, we like that person. But there are chances when other person likes you very much, like anything, more than anything, but you can't bear that person. So there is always an imbalance between the relations. So it's not necessary that I like you. If I like you, you also like me. It's not necessary. It doesn't happen always. Sometimes it happens just the opposite of it. So in that case, what should we do? In that case, the such case is with me also. I have a friend whom I don't like, but she likes me very much. What I think, but I can't. But I can't leave her. So what do? I simply find the good points in her. She definitely has good points also. So I always look for that, and I simply remember, yes, she has got these good points. So I like her.
Got it,
Even
Veena.
if I don't like her, I'll not show my dislike to her.
Got it, Veena. Thanks. Okay, got it. Thanks, Veena. So essentially wanted to get a sense of that as well from you. Can you shut off this screen sharing, please? I just want to make sure I'm able to talk to Veena directly. Yeah. So perfect, Veena. So essentially, one thing we can also question is ki yaar, if there is a choice, loving equally, both equal, and what the approach you chose about is of unequal love. One person loves each other, one person loves the more than the other. But Trilojan, I'm only able to see the yellow card right now. Can we are we running out of time?
Trilojan, can you stop the screen share? Yes.
Okay. The other 2-3 things I wanted to very quickly run on the same topic which Harish has given us. So what I would also suggest as an exercise for people to do when the session is over is that even this can be questioned further. So again, love others versus love oneself. You can take one side. You can question whether or not you have to take the side itself. And even this is not anything like an objective truth. So what you could also question is even love even important? That's a much difficult prompt, but that gives for a very unique answer as well. That we're talking about loving others and getting love from others, but does it matter? What is love? Do we even understand what it is? Have you truly experienced it? Something of that sort. What I'm imploring you to suggest is that for every sentence and assumption that we're making, let's recognize it for what it is, that it's an assumption, right? So we should always question it more and more. Okay, I want to very briefly take you over the deck once again. A few things that I think a few action items that we can do, to sort of keep the grease running in finding new ideas is one, we can catch more input. So points number 1 and 2 are basically on that. If you read more or if you watch more stuff, then you'll get more ideas to start off with. But the other thing, for instance, that is very helpful is that once you have an idea, it's very useful to connect two ideas. For example, one of the things that Seema did, if you remember her table topics, is that she started in the second attempt that she did. She mentioned that, well, we should always help others. And then she said that is the law of the universe, So then she's shifting the focus from her point to a bigger point, which is, the law of the universe is to, sort of have things interconnected to each other. But the main point that I want you guys to take away from this exercise, right, is to think deeper on it. So for whatever point or prompt that you will get, there are more and more levels to it. So in the same way, if you remember in the example that Veena helped us with, there were 2 approaches. You could take either of the approach. Then you could go a level deeper and question whether or not you need to take the approach in the first place. And even deeper, if you go, you can question the premise of the topic itself. So, and if you really think about it, right, the deeper you go, the more unique your response is. And the more unique a response is, it's more likely to be interesting. That's not always the case, but if your answer is unique, if there are 6 people, 5 of them talk about self-love, because self-love is a very common theme in motivational speaking these days. And if you talk about something else, if you even talk very simply, there is no trade-off only between self-love and loving others, then your approach will be very unique. And if you talk about the fact that love is only not important, I'm not saying that you'll win, but I'm saying that people will remember you. They will remember your attempt. This guy spoke about something totally different, right? So at least being more interesting, wala tick mark you will get. And one of the things that we did want to optimize for is to inspire others, to motivate others, or to be remembered. You know, that particular thing is unique, fresh. So if you go a level deeper, the chances of finding something unique go up, and dramatically so, in fact. I want to talk about one more very important thing, you know, because we're a little short on time, and I want to cover that especially, which is the other part, which is becoming more confident. Okay. Now this one is a little trickier. Anyone, I want to first take one more example here. Let me just, so anyone who particularly feels they're not confident in table topic approaches, I'd like you to volunteer next, because I think this might help you the most. Kashish, Trilochan, like we can try one by one. Let's start with Kashish, because I think he raised it on slightly first. So Kashish, why don't you unmute yourself?
Hi.
Hi. Very briefly, do you feel that confidence is a thing that we want to work on in the table topic session, especially, right?
Right.
So let me put it this way. Let's start with let's start with the brass tacks, you know, the basics first. And this is open to everyone, okay? And Trilochan, Harish, since you also raised your hands, I want you to take a shot at this. Why do you think we're not confident?
Maybe lack of ideas, or the spontaneous thinking, impromptu thinking on the topic. And sometimes what happens is when we hear a topic, we started speaking, and then another thought comes in our mind, and then we shift to that track, and at the end we made a mess out of too many ideas or too many things.
So let's think about that, Kashish. Basically, you're worried that your attempt will not be very good, right?
Right.
But so what if you have a bad attempt? Like, what's the problem? It's okay to have a bad attempt. What I'm asking is, well, all of us are going to have bad attempts. Why are we worried about it? Let's think about that. Let's say you make an absolute mess, you know. What's the problem?
Because we always want to present a good image of ourselves, just like Veena ma'am said.
Yes.
And that is why we are very concerned about why we should be good at speaking.
Yes, yes. And I think that actually hits the nail. I think almost all of the anxiety that arises in public speaking, right, is because we depend on our audiences to validate what we're saying, you know, at all times. What I want to apprise you of is that everyone wants to look good here. Everyone wants to be impressive. Everyone wants to be, you know, respected, loved, feared, etc. Whatever your motivation is. And therefore, when we say something and we don't get the same thing, it's like, oh, why are we doing this? Now, I think if we address this, we can address confidence. My point has always been this. So that's what leads me to the next point, which I don't know if like a lot of people will like, but I think it's this. I think relying on other people at any point doesn't work because of the reason that's written here. Because let's think about this for a second. If you're going on stage and being nervous for those 2 minutes, so is Harish in the table topic master session. So is the evaluator. So is the speaker. So is the 5-6 other people that come after you. The thing that I want to sort of speak about here, and you can disagree with me if you want, is that people are so held up in their own heads, just like you, that they're thinking about how they're coming across instead of having a lot of time to judge us in the first place. You know, and the way I sort of think about tackling this, you know, is that on some level, there's going to be an idea that is very unique to you. Okay, there's right now there are topics out there jisme Kashish Gupta has the only unique approach. You know, like you will say something that no one else will say. And it's very fair that you might not do a great job of executing it, but that you might be the only one who may be able to say it. So how can we present that in a way wherein you care less about your audience? And I think my suggestion there is that I think audiences don't care about us anyway. Because when you go to the table topic session, right? Like, I don't know how you guys feel, but like any public speaking thing I do, like if it's a 2-minute slot, right? Like it is 5 hours of worrying, then it's a 2-minute slot, and then it's 5 hours of relief, right? And it feels very drawn out to me. For me, it seems like a 12-hour ka emotional experience. But to each one of you, to the audience, what is it? It's a 2-minute snippet. It's like a breeze in their day. Most likely they won't even remember us. And that's good and bad. But that's also good because that sort of frees you up to do what you want to do. Okay. So here specifically, I think if you worry less about what your audiences think, then, because they actually don't, is what I'm trying to suggest, then you will at least be freed up to speak what you want to speak. And I think the trick that helps everyone the most here is, and it's a little easier in online meetings, is when you're giving your speech, think like you're conversing with your best friend. Because if you're speaking to 500 people, what it really is it's a one-on-one conversation 500 times, right? So if you just optimize and perfect that one interaction with that one person, and think of that one person as your best friend, because when you're with your best friend, you don't worry too much whether they like you or not. And that might free you up to speak exactly as you want to say it. Okay. So Kashish, we're going to try the same thing. You can look at me the entire time. Okay. And we are best friends forever. We're chuddy buddies types. And I'm always going to smile and look at everything, what you're going to say. And I approve. And you assume that freely. And just speak whatever comes to your mind. That's the only exercise. You don't have to make sense. Okay. Harish, you want to give us a topic?
Harish?
Harish, if you're able to hear us in the next 15 seconds, let us know. Otherwise, I'll just give you a topic right now. Okay, Kashish? No worries. Okay. So I'll give you a topic nonetheless. Okay, Kashish? Now, you want an easy, medium, or hard one?
Easy.
No, I don't like people who give me easy. I'm going to give you hard now. So I'm going to give you a difficult one because it's in the difficult one that your muscles will get pulled. But don't worry, you're with best friends right now, so you don't have to worry at all. You can mess up the topic as much as you want, though I doubt sincerely that you will. Okay. So here's the topic. It's a little complex. Hear it carefully, and then whenever you're ready, just look at me and just you just have to keep talking and not stop. Okay, 1 minute ke liye. Okay, here's the topic. The impossible is often the untried. Okay. What we call the impossible is often the untried thing. Whenever you're ready, Kashish.
Who would have thought that someone just at the age of 20 or 21 would have made a huge empire by just making those old guest house a big, good looking and comfortable rooms, by converting those not so used, not so visited places into a good hotels. You know whom am I talking about? It's Ritesh Agarwal, the founder of OYO. So the most unlikely or the most uninvented or the most desirous things are which you never tried. Those areas which you have never explored are the ones which can give you most success. And that is how the startup works. If you have something big to think, if you have a solution to someone's problem, if you are into something, you can give a real life solution to someone, then you are into right horizon. You can make those small things and escalate it to a big one. Just the right approach, the right thinking, the right attitude, and a little bit of hard work. And that is where you can expect success. You don't have to work 24 hours a day. 2 hours a day in the right direction can do wonders.
Great.
And believe me, that is the right thing to do. Thank you.
Okay, great, Kashish. So very, very solid attempt. Like there was no hours, no arms. You attempted the whole thing in one go. I think it was a very solid attempt. Example we had, it was very good. I have one more thing I want you to think about. So you're talking with your best friend. That was the cue, right? Would you have talked to your best friend this way?
No.
I think this is how I would have talked about Ritesh Agarwal if I was talking to my best friend. Do you know he's 21, yeah?
Right.
21 and he's richer than all of us. How he's a boy, yeah? He's not even studied accounting. Kuch pata nahi hai usko, and he's made something like that, you know. So, and you know what happens? It comes across as a little more organic if you're talking with your best friend. Okay.
Right.
Your content was solid. Okay. Now, do you respect someone just like Ritesh Agarwal? Do you have one more example? Someone you really admire? Bill Gates, Elon Musk, whoever you want.
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk? Okay. So the cue is simple. The same thing. Okay. But you're talking to your best friend. And when you're talking to your best friend, it's way more uncensored. When you talk to your best friend, you don't motivate him, inspire him. You just want to get out why you think Elon Musk is cool. Okay. So you can just look at me. And again, we're best friends. Okay. Why do you like Elon Musk, Kashish? Whenever you're ready, just go nuts, yeah. Just be yourself.
So do you think, have you ever heard about Elon Musk, how he started? And do you know there is a company named PayPal, which was started by another set of 2 to 3 guys who just started, and then Elon Musk implemented the same idea. And that man is just awesome.
Yeah.
He took the idea, he bought that company, or maybe get into merger and acquisitions, and he took hold of all those things. And what is even more interesting is now he's into everything. He has launched his own spaceships and doing what kind of things.
Yeah. What else do you like about him, Kashish? Like spaceship ho gaya, what else? What do you think about Tesla? Tesla bhi to sahi tha, yaar. What do you like about Tesla particularly?
Sorry.
No worries. But you see, in the first half at least, when you started talking about Elon Musk, now I don't know if you noticed. I don't know if the rest of them noticed, but what happened is your hand gesticulation came up. You know, like first you were like this, now you were hunched forward, your hand came up and it was moving a lot more too. I think what also happened is that content hamara dry ho gaya, which is why I think you would have continued saying stuff, but the content had dried up. But otherwise, I think what happens now is when you start off with that kind of an approach, where you're approaching it a little more informally, your delivery will automatically improve. So, especially in table topics, I think what helps now is what I, in fact, do a little strategically, at least in contests, is if I have 2-3 friends who have come at that contest, they will put them in 3 corners of the audience. And I will look at them, you know, because in that moment, it's very important to know that whatever you say, you will not be judged. Because as I'll say again, you will not be judged either way. What seems huge to you is just a 2-minute slice in someone's day. They will forget very, very easily. So use that. You know? And I wish we had a recording of this. So if we do, I think we are recording. Actually, what I would suggest at the end of this, compare your 2 approaches. Your content was obviously better in the Ritesh one because you had more things to say about Ritesh. But your delivery, which is the thing we're focusing about in confidence, is much higher when you're freed up. You know, when you're talking a little more casually, directly. So on that specifically, right, I just wanted to highlight 2 quick points. That to think of the entire speech as a conversation, think of speaking to 500 people as speaking to one person in 500 times in parallel. So it's always a one-to-one conversation, at least the way I sort of envision the whole thing. And again, reiterate to yourself, like there's a certain ideation within you that needs to come out. Like every time, so there's when I go to the stage, there's 2 competing emotions for everyone. There's anxiety and there's excitement. And anxiety is always very powerful. At the default, anxiety baseline is very high for I think everyone. But before the speech, like if you look at the audience, like what I try to do is I look at the audience and I think, yeah, there might be something only I can say that no one else might. And they might be looking at me to say something. And that will actually, increase the positive emotion going into the approach as well. Right. So that's the 2 points I wanted to cover with regards to delivery and confidence. The very quick point that I want to very, very quickly highlight before I move, we have just 10 minutes now, so we'll move into question answers very quickly. The 2 points I really wanted to highlight at the end is that both of those action items, and I'll share the deck with you if that might help. All of the action items are again simple and difficult. Like it's simple, I think it's simple to think of more ideas, but it's difficult to actually do it over time. So in fact, the easiest thing to do, right, is to attempt more table topics. Because when I tell you, KR, people don't care about you, you're going to nod right now, but you're not actually going to believe me. Because you're going to trust the anxiety center inside your brain. KR, of course, people care about me, I'm getting frightened. But what's going to happen is if you give a table topic, and let's say you mess it up, because I've messed up my fair share of table topics. Like I've messed up a lot of table topics. Even after messing up your table topic, breakfast is going to taste the same. And like the wind will blow at the same amount. It's not going to matter. And after 4 or 5 attempts, you'll actually condition yourself to not care. Because you'll realize that even then you did mess up, nothing really happened. If anything, people are nicer after you mess up. They're like, no, yaar, you did well, don't worry. If you do well, they're like, he's going to win anyway. So I just want to remind you that if you practice more, both of those things will automatically happen. Like you'll become more confident as you'll care less about your audience. I'm not saying caring less about your audience is a good thing, but I'm saying being dependent on their approval is a bad thing. If the audience is saying, no, yaar, what is he saying? Like, you can't stop because you have a duty to the other audience members anyway. And if nothing else, you have a duty to yourself. So that'll happen automatically. And the other thing which I mentioned about on ideation, that think of the same idea in different ways. That also comes with practice, because here's a very interesting tip that will happen to all of you. When you give a table topic or when you do any impromptu speaking, the moment you step off the stage, the idea is going to click. Like after the table topic is done and you've concluded, then your brain has 5 great ideas. I could have said this, I could have said that. This is also what I could have said. Unfortunately, that only happens after the topic is done and because in those 2 minutes, though, nothing, you can't think only. Like you can feel like you're thinking, but since you're also speaking, it's very superficial thinking. But once you step off the brain realizes it has to do nothing to the mouth. So it starts thinking everything and then an idea will pop up. So literally, I'll tell you, if you attempt 5 table topics you'll get 5 good ideas at the end of those 5 table topics. But hey, you know what? Now you're way better prepared for the 6th one. So the simplest and the most worthwhile thing to do, right, is to really raise your hand in as many table topics as possible. And if there's one thing I can really leave you with, if you don't listen to anything else in this entire 60-70 minute audio, please listen to this. There is no reason to not participate in a table topic contest. There's no prep. You don't need to prepare anything. You don't need to dress up. You just need to show up and you need to raise your hand. That's the only thing that there are faster ways to do it, but this is the only guaranteed way you can get better. There are, of course, faster ways to do it. You can stress out and you can practice in front of a mirror, etc. There's no guarantee as much as actually practicing. So if if 21 people that are registered in this meeting, 20 people besides me, if all of you participate in this table topic contest, then I think I've succeeded, because that's the only thing that I think will guaranteed help you. So that's the high level mota of what I wanted to share. Please do practice this more. Then you will get better at the two fundamental principles also. What I really wanted to do in the last 10 minutes, I think 12:42 we had to, general evaluator kab start hota hai? Trilochan, how much time do I have?
Kanish, you have time till 12:45.
12:45, right? Yeah, so very quickly in the next 12 minutes, I just want to take any questions specifically that you want to talk about.
Yes, I want to ask one question. Kashish, not Kashish, sorry.
Yeah.
Whatever your name is, I'm sorry, I've forgotten. Yeah. It's Kanish. Yes, I'm sorry for that. Kanish, what happens, at times like we are able to speak up, because what I feel impromptu is all about the experiences you already had. It's not like your mind is completely blank. It's like you have practiced that thing way back, which is coming, automatically. So it happens with me whenever I, encounter with something new, my mind gets blank to it. So in that context, what are your suggestions? What should a person do?
No, that's a very good question. So if I understand your question, Seeman, please correct me if I don't. You're trying to say is that sometimes you get a topic. So basically you're saying कि यार अगर idea है तो है, and अगर कुछ नया आया और idea नहीं है तो नहीं है, मतलब तो मैं करूँ क्या?
Yes, then get anxiety or stress, takes a toll, and we miss that opportunity, which is actually detrimental for oneself, because we get the opportunity once or twice in a week.
Yeah. So a couple of points. Number one, it's a problem. Like it's a problem at every level. At club level, area level, division level, district level, this is a problem. Like you hear a topic and sometimes you get an idea and sometimes you just don't get an idea, right? What very good speakers are able to do, and I actually think, Seema, you're actually very good at this, is that even when they don't have the idea, ekdam to the dot, they find a way to take the closest enough idea and speak on that.
Okay.
Right. For example, if you remember your own approach, like you started off with saying opportunities, like, so it was keep yourself first. And you said ki, हाँ मतलब वो trade off तो है, but I will talk about opportunities, and then you executed that. So I think the way we should think of it, I'll tell you the analogy that I keep coming back to, like repeatedly when it comes to table topics is, so have you seen Tarzan, Jungle Book wala?
Yes.
You know what Tarzan does when he has to transport himself in the jungle, he goes on that vine. वो एक रस्सी लेता है, there's a rope, he swings on it, then he lets go of the rope, and then he climbs on the next rope. Okay. Or think of a Spider-Man. Spider-Man does a web, goes to some place, then he puts another web and goes somewhere else. That's literally what a table topic is. When you swing on a rope, when you're saying this sentence, you have no idea where it's going to go.
Right.
And you're not going to know. Sometimes that idea won't come. All you have to do is at the end of your sentence, at the end of your swing, find the next closest rope that comes to your mind and keep swinging. One sentence leads to another sentence, leads to another sentence. And before you know it, it's a 2-minute speech is ready. If it's a 2-minute speech, you only have to do 8-9 swings, tops. And usually in the first, second swing, you'll get an idea.
Okay.
What a lot of people also do, which you, by the way, Seema, I noticed you very cleverly did. They say, ki, thank you for this opportunity. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Like, you know what you're doing, you're buying time, which is a great strategy. If no idea comes, like put in a thank you, put in a good morning, put in some, your brain is going to continue processing things in the background. Now that's a very good strategy. You can put another thing you can do in the middle of your approach, ask a question, ask a yes or no question. I personally feel you should never let go of an opportunity. Let's say your mind goes blank. Yes. And you say, what do you think? Yes or no? Should opportunities be missed? And while you're saying should opportunities be missed, your brain is still like loading icon chal raha hai usme. And then an idea will come up. By the time some of them raise their hand, you will actually have something to say. Yeah,
I would like to ask something.
Ganesh.
Yeah.
Hello. May I ask my question?
Yeah, Veena. Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
You see, sometimes I get afraid that the topic may be very tough, or maybe that I don't know even sometimes the theme is like this. I don't proceed myself out of the fear. I think I won't be able to speak anything on that. Is it right for a person or not?
What do you think, Veena? You think like there is a topic in the world where you have zero things to say about?
Yes, as I say, because I am afraid of some topic which I think I don't know much.
Give me an
Like
example.
maths or commerce or anything,
Okay,
which I don't know.
let's take maths.
Even in the least, there I simply get back. Is it right or wrong?
No, so let's take a topic, right? Let's take maths, for example.
Yes.
Okay. Why are you afraid of maths?
I don't. I was not as good in maths. I had learned maths only up to class 10. After that, I left it. It was not compulsory either. But I am still scared of maths. So in those cases, I simply keep behind. I think I shouldn't move. I shouldn't talk.
Well, you see what you did, Veena. You actually spoke something about maths. And I'll tell you what you did. And let's think about that Tarzan thing again, okay?
Yes.
आपने क्या बोला? I only told you, tell me about maths. You said, yaar, I didn't like maths. I was afraid of it. And I only did it till class 10 and then I wasn't able to do it. Because first of all, these are three things about maths that, for example, is new to me. Like I enjoyed maths as a kid. So someone telling me, yaar, maths I get afraid is very new to me. So I'm very interested. Now that you have these three ideas, you can do anything. So let's say you're afraid of maths as a child, right? You can talk about, as a child, we're afraid of a lot of things that in adulthood we overcome.
Yes, it should be over.
It should be overcome.
It should be over.
You can talk about you only studied maths till class 10.
Yes.
And you can talk about how education opportunities were lower when you were younger, particularly for women. But now the landscape is changing. You could, right? Or you could talk about fear in general. Why do we fear things? But you know what will happen now is even if you start speaking now about one of these things, like I guarantee 100%. Like if you did this exercise now, you can speak on it for 2 minutes because you gave 3 sentences. You know, you can make any of these 3 sentences into a speech. Does that help?
I didn't get the idea.
No, sir. So let's say you're afraid of maths now.
Yes.
You can talk about fear. Like a lot of times we don't do things because we're afraid now.
Okay.
We don't communicate to a person because we're afraid. We don't go to the stage because we're afraid. We don't take table topics because we're afraid. It's a very similar fear to the fear of maths. You know? So you don't have to talk about maths. You can talk about your relation with maths.
Okay. Yes.
We get 2 minutes, we have to fill those 2 minutes. So what I'm saying, Veena, is I'm telling you 100%, there is no topic, in my opinion, that you can't talk about. Because you just did, in my opinion.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, as you mentioned that in table topics, we get a very short period of time and we have to think and then we have to speak and we have to fill in like time and we have to speak constantly what we feel and how do we feel at all. So you mentioned that people don't care, like the listeners are like, they don't care about you, and if I'm correct. So I don't know. I seriously don't agree with you at all. Okay. So is it so important to fill in time rather than giving a life-changing thought to your audience or thinking if they are your best friends at all or if they are agreeing with you or not? Is it even fair to just fill in times, fill it with words that makes no sense with your audience at all? I have this question like.
No, absolutely. And I'm very, very fair here. I actually enjoy questions that are more skeptical than supporting because that's how we know what we're doing is correct or not. So what's the exact disconnect here? Are we saying that people do care about us a lot, or are we saying that we should not fill times with just anything? We should make sense all the time.
You said that people don't remember. After 2 minutes, they will not remember what is being said and all. I don't think if I speak anything at all and people after 2 minutes of when after my speech is over, people forget me. So what is the point of me speaking to me having this conversation at all with anybody?
Absolutely, that's a very good point actually. And let me tell you, no, that's a very good point, Aisha. And I'll tell you what I'm trying to rephrase it as. What I'm trying to say is that people won't remember us as much as we'd like to. I think so. Because really, can you tell me? I can't remember the speech title of the speech I heard last week. I don't remember it. Like, I really enjoyed it then, but I don't remember it, and it's both, I think it's both the tragedy and beauty of public speaking is that like there's so much content, 4 speakers come and 4 speakers say their own thoughts, then it happens next week after that, Table topics, there's even more content, there's 8 people. It's very hard to remember things, I don't remember. And let me know if you do remember, but I think if my experience is like that, right, my audience's experience will also be like that. So I'm not saying that you can't be remembered. I actually think the opposite. I think if we do a great enough job, I do think we can be remembered, but it is very, very hard. And there's a plus side to it. The plus side to it is that if getting remembered is so hard when you're good, imagine how easy it is to be forgotten when you're bad. What I'm trying to, rather than downplay the effect of being good, I'm trying to downplay the effect of being bad.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi, Kanishk. This is Amit. May I say something?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Kanishk, I was just hearing you with your concept, and I'm totally agree with you. I mean, in the first half, like as you were talking about 2 different, concept to take about the table topic and then think something in your mind, right? And even in your second concept, I was completely agree that you just think that in front of you, you're a friend and you can speak a lot of things. So just I have a question that, I mean, how do you frame the time frame while you're speaking in a table topic? I mean, I'm okay. I mean, you can say anything, whatever comes in your mind, but how do you bind your thought in that particular time period so that you conclude whatever comes in your mind and you get over with your table topic round? How do you manage that time frame?
So two very quick points there. I think we have maybe we'll answer this question, maybe take a quick one after that and then we'll close. But Amit, let me do a really good job of answering this one. So I think it's very critical as well. I'll tell you the approach I use, which has helped me a little bit in contests. The approach I use is, so when I hear the topic, I get 1 or 2 seconds to think. And the promise I've made myself is that if I hear the topic, in the next 3 seconds, I will speak. Whatever first thought comes to my head, I will speak. Okay. It can be different for different people. Some people, you're allowed up till 6-7 seconds to think. You can take that time. So that's so there's certain milestones in your speech. There's the first word, there's the intro, there's the body, and there's the conclusion. High level, that's common in all speeches. So first word, like take a call after a few practices. Some people do well speaking immediately. Some people take some time. After that, the rule I have for myself is that until I see the yellow card, I just don't stop.
Okay.
So somewhere after 2 sentences, I'll end my intro. After 2 sentences, I'll end my intro. And until I see the yellow card, I will just not think about concluding. When I see the yellow card, which means it's 1.5 minutes, at 1.5 minutes, I complete the point that I'm making and I start concluding. And usually when the red card comes, I'm halfway through my conclusion. And at 2 minutes, 10 seconds, I just conclude with, so whatever I had said in the beginning, I call back to it and end my speech. And I'll tell you why I do this so that you can think for yourself also, Amit, about what's better and better for you. I think in a contest, right, if you have 2 minutes to speak and if you end in 1 minute, it's perceived quite negatively. It shouldn't be, but it is. It should be about having a lot of content and quality time should make sense, but at least in contests, it'll be perceived negatively if you had time and you kept it on the table. It gives the impression that yaar, iske paas kuch tha nahi bolne ko, which is often not the case. So that's how you can structure it. At yellow, you can start concluding, think of starting to conclude. That's what I do. You can think if it works for you. I think with practice, you might be able to get your own timing related blueprint.
No, great, Kanishka. I mean, I like the workshop. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you, Amit. One last one before we wrap up.
I would like to ask one thing more. Are you in theater and all?
Oh, not yet, yeah, but I want to be.
But your body language and the way you are speaking is telling something else.
Thank you. Thank you. I want to get into theater actually, but I don't have any background in it. So.
I see. Because the way you started with this thing, no, just imagine there are a few people and you're going to be natural. So somewhere down the line I felt so, and that is why I wanted to ask. Thank you.
Anyone else? Something that we can quickly take? Any questions I can shed light on? If not,
I have one question.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is specifically for the new members. Like I have seen, like specifically in offline meetings as well as in the online meeting, if we call the guests on the stage, and there are times they either speak too less or they speak, they're not ready to speak. How, like, basically you can help them in that moment, because that would actually give them a good impression and of the club as well. But at the same time, it would also like it's ultimately help them at least, even if they don't join in anything. But they that's one learning they want to take home. Like at least this is specifically for people who are not yet members, and this is their first attempt for the table topics.
Yeah. So thank you, Parul. That's a great question. I want to answer it in two ways. By the way, thank you so much, Yaar. It really helps when more people think like you. You know, okay, how do we encourage those who are the most worried? I think I was able to improve because there was someone like you who took time and invested in my growth. I have 2 points there. Number one, and I want to also tie into what Aisha and I were discussing in her question, which was, you know what the thing people are most worried about? So of course they're worried about failure. You know, they're worried, especially a guest is so terrified. Like if we are all terrified of table topics, so imagine how anxious they are. So one, they're going to be very worried about it. The most important thing we can do, right, in my opinion, is first encourage them to attempt. Okay, and chances are that they're not going to do a great job. You know, because if they're the kind who do a great job, they're not going to be nervous. You know, and then they'll anyway raise their hands. But if you force them to raise their hands, they're not going to do great. What they really need after that, right, is a reassurance that one, that we heard them, and that we actually, there was a lot of good in that particular speech, you know. And what I usually do, right, especially when I think that there's someone really nervous, once we've encouraged them to go on stage, I remember exactly what they spoke about. And after the meeting, I told them ki, yeah, remember that, just like, for example, like Veena gave a really good attempt, but let's say if I wanted to encourage Veena after the exam, I would go to her and say, ki, yeah, even my sister was very afraid of maths, you know, something like that. I remember what you said, even she was very afraid, but she got over it. And that tells Veena, and I think Veena or a guest like that, two things. One, ki, the attempt was good. And, you know, that there is a lot of scope to, you know, there is a lot of acceptance in our clubs, because I think that's one of the things we get very right at our clubs. That's the one thing we communicate to them. And the second thing we communicate to them is that we heard what they said, you know, because chances are people won't remember. But if a VP head, a VP membership goes out of their way and tells them, ki, yaar, I remembered this, you know, I heard you well and good. It'll linger with them for a while longer. And I think it'll make them more likely to raise their hand the next time. That's the best we can do. They also have to take up some initiative post that.
Hello.
All right. Thank you.
Hello.
Okay. Hi, Anjana.
Yeah, Kanish, I would like to try a table topic. I'm a guest, just to see.
Yeah. Anjana, we'd love to give you a shot. We really would. The only concern is that I think Kashish has very strictly told me to wrap up by 12:45.
Okay.
But I promise you this: if you come next week, we will definitely give you a table topic slot.
Just for 1 minute. I want to try it.
Yeah, okay. Kashish, you think it's okay? We can give one nice little one to Anjana.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Harish, are you there? If you have a topic and we could
Yes,
attempt.
Harish left, I think. You need to manage
Okay.
this show.
Okay. Think of a topic. Okay. So Anjana, I'll give you a moderate one. Okay. Moderate to difficult one. Okay. Don't worry. I'm sure you'll do a good job. Okay.
Okay.
So this is your cue. Okay. The road less traveled by.
Yeah.
The road less traveled by. Over to you, Anjana.
The road less. Thank you so much for giving me such an interesting topic. Actually, what I observed that most of the people they look for the things which others do. They don't want to try something new. Because they want to be the part of rat race we call. They are not that confident enough about themselves, so they are not confident, that they can do something great or where they are going. I think this is because of their lack of confidence. Also, they feel more confident when they try to copy others. So this is what I feel. So they don't try new thing basically. They have, because of lack of confidence. And what like you were mentioning, no, the world right now needs ideas. Okay, so from where the ideas will come if we will not try to be original? Most of the time I have seen the public speakers who go on stage, they try to bring the points from others, what they have learned. Like suppose I have to get information, what my first thing will be, I will just go through the internet and search what people talk about in this particular topic and all, and I'll grab the information, whatever I can from internet. But I never give it a chance to think. I don't feel that confident to think about that thing. Because I'm not confident, I think nobody will take me seriously. This is the perception with everyone. Everyone thinks, most of the people, not everyone, I'll say, because had everyone be doing like that, then there won't be people who had discovered new things in life. Okay, so I think we must have the confidence in our ability, and we should try new things, and we should go for the things which nobody tries. We should believe in our abilities and try, so that you never know, one day you can also become Wright brothers or Einstein or anyone. Because this is my opinion.
Yeah.
I think, do I have more time?
I think we got it. That's usually the time we get.
Yeah.
Give you some comments, Anjana.
So I feel if I am not that sort, I always try a new thing because I feel confident about myself.
Yeah, absolutely. Anjana, you're obviously, that was a really good attempt. Like, I would almost, so far as to venture to say that you're almost a natural at impromptu speaking. You're very confident naturally, and the thing I noticed that I really admire as well, that you got the topic right. But the bigger thing I admired is that that you came out and in your speech you were very honest. I'm very afraid of being perceived that way. It actually takes, I think, confidence is a lot to do with that. Confidence is a lot to do with saying, "Yaar, this thing really scares me." I think the people who are the most confident, who can very openly admit, these things really scare me, they terrify me, instead of like pretending they don't exist. So I think that's a really solid attempt. I think, Parul, you see, like, not everyone needs our help as much as others. Huh?
Indeed, but like I was talking specifically about people who need our help.
Right. Okay, cool, guys. I think that's all the time we have.
Sorry, Kanishk, I got disconnected in between. No, when what you are telling, I don't know why some internet connection went. Now again, I have come online.
Okay. No, I'll briefly summarize what we just discussed. We were actually sort of envious of your confidence, Anjana. So you're obviously very good at it. Yeah. You're very natural, and I really admire the fact that you spoke very honestly about the things that scare you and make you anxious. It came across very powerfully. So thank you, and please do keep attending or at least attempting these table topics. I think we might have a lot we can learn from you.
Thank you so much.
Cool. Kashish, I'll very quickly hand off to you. Folks, I'll give you my WhatsApp number if you want to continue having a conversation with me. Even if you disagree, I'm very, very happy to meet people who disagree with me. You can always drop me a note and we'll wrap up all those threads. So Kashish, I'll very quickly hand it over to you so that you can take over.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Kanishk. It was really a very great session, very insightful. We enjoyed a lot. It was very interactive. We are really happy and grateful to you for being in the show and show us a few good learning. It is really a great learning for all of us. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Kashish. Really
from the Dwarka Toastmasters Club.
Yeah.
Now I would
come meet you in person as well. But for now, I'll just see you guys in drop.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Now I would like to hand over the stage to our